It is 12 minutes before 6 o'clock. This morning, First News continues to follow the big story out of Lordstown, where voters yesterday passed a referendum giving TJX the green light to build a distribution center in the village. Once the ballots were counted, Congressman Tim Ryan issued a statement calling it, quote, a huge victory for Lordstown, our community, and our economy. Lordstown residents have spoken, and they want TJX in the Mahoning Valley. And we are happy to have sitting with us right now, live in studio, Congressman Tim Ryan. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Talk to us about, this was big news coming out. We were following it closely all day, all night as those results were coming in. What was running through your head when you heard the news that it passed?
I was nervous. It was like a big game, that had yet to been played, and we were just so excited. It was such a great long-term effort, most of it behind the scenes. But it was the Chamber of Commerce. Obviously, I was involved. Our state delegation, led by Sean O'Brien and Glenn Holmes, pulled a rabbit out of a hat, literally, to make this even possible to do yesterday. And Mayor Arno Hill and Lordstown and his team just led the way, and it was just a great team victory.
I'm wondering if you could tell us, because we were following the back and forth so closely when it was they want to be here, residents don't want them here, now they're leaving. How close was this to not happening?
It was very, very close. I remember a 2-week period where I was literally on the phone with the CEO handfuls of times a day, and so was the chamber and other people. I mean, it was like, to that point, it's like, hey, if you don't want us, we don't want to come, kind of thing. And we were able to kind of nudge them back, and here we are. And they've done a great job. They accommodated a lot of the residents there. When you look at the vote, 70, 75%, I don't know what the final numbers were. They did a great job of accommodating the residents.
Yeah, it was interesting because it was close to not happening because they were talking about backing out, but it ended up the majority of people who voted wanted them here in the Lordstown area. Talk to us about the economic impact this could have on the village if it comes.
Well, they're saying 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 jobs, maybe even more, $150 million plus in economic impact. And then as we started to build this whole thing out, we pulled in Youngstown State University and President Tressel, so they're going to do a logistics program with Youngstown State University. They're going to help the local school district with a couple of the needs that they have. So it was all about kind of building this out so the community could understand the impact that this project was going to have. And, I was on the phone with local village council people. I mean, it's at one point. I mean, it was just, I was visiting people in their homes. I mean, it was that kind of grassroots effort, but we got here.
Kind of a two-part question now. First, just because the vote passed, is this guaranteed to happen? And we also know the timeline of things. Ohio Governor John Kasich and our leaders in Columbus made sure the vote was yesterday, not during the November midterm elections, to help speed up the process. So kind of what are the next steps, and is this in fact a guaranteed done deal?
Well, nothing's guaranteed, but in life, especially in politics. But when you talk about what happened at the state, that was Senator Sean O'Brien. That was Representative Glenn Holmes who made that happen, and then got the governor involved and everything else. So that's what I mean about pulling a rabbit out of a hat. Literally, this was supposed to happen in November. If it happened in November, it wasn't going to happen. They were going to pull out, and they were able to get it moved up to yesterday. And so, hopefully the next step is the ribbon cutting or the groundbreaking, and then hopefully a ribbon cutting, and they're anxious to get moving.
Have they given you any indication of when that might happen in your talks with them?
Soon.
Soon.
I mean, I talked to the CEO yesterday, and he was pretty excited. So was I. So I can't quite remember exactly what he said, but soon.
Yeah, there was a lot of other things going on.
This is really great. Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be there.
We had a nice party at Ross's last night in Lordstown too, which is a great
Absolutely. And put this in perspective for us. We know there's a lot going on in Lordstown, a lot of changes happening with the GM plant in Lordstown. Talk to us about overall how this is impacting the area in light of those changes too.
Well, it provides a lot of stability to Lordstown. Given what happened just with the third shift and then the second shift, and we're back to work today because we got to try to get another car back in Lordstown, and that's very, very high on my agenda and others. But it stabilizes Lordstown. I think it stabilizes the valley. When you see the economic impact of 150, 160 million plus dollars, that's a real stabilizing factor for us. And so if we can build on this, which is really going to be the key, we've got some technology coming in. We've got to get Lordstown back up and running. Northside's a big issue. We're going to work real hard to try to maybe get a vets, some kind of veterans facility there. I think is first on our list. So this is big. I mean, you don't get this very often, which is what we were trying to tell everybody. This is 1,000 jobs. like every community around Lordstown was calling saying, we'll take it, hey, we'll take it, hey, we'll take it. And they're like, well, Lordstown has what they need. And at the end of the day, Lordstown stepped up.
What is it about Lordstown? Is it the location to the turnpike and the interstate? Is it just the land itself? We know there's the plant across the highway there, GM.
Right.
They're also working on, correct me if I'm wrong, a big power plant
Number
project
2,
there.
Phase 2.
What is it about this small village, Lordstown, that's been so attractive?
We're calling Arnold Hill the billion-dollar mayor now because he has the power plant. We've got another power plant we're working on there, and now it's the location, it's the workforce in the valley that is both Mahoning, Trumbull, and Columbiana County that can all come together for a project like this or for a company like this, and that's a big deal for them. And then, you know, they like being able to have the whole political apparatus. You have a Republican mayor, you have a Democratic congressman, Democratic state legislatures, you have the Chamber of Commerce and labor unions all coming together around the project. That all happens in Lordstown, and so that's what we offer people. And I think this is a good signal across the country that we're a great place to do business.
Absolutely. And speaking of the mayor, we're actually going to hear from him in our 6 o'clock hour. We talked to him yesterday. We're going to bring you some of what he had to say yesterday about how the community is going to be moving forward. So thank you so much, Congressman, for joining us.
He got to sleep in
he
today?
He got to sleep in. Okay. You're the lucky one who woke up bright and early with us. But we do thank you for waking up and doing that.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
Great day for the Valley.
Thank you, Congressman.
Thanks.